Ta-da! All right. Is it doing it? I think it's doing it. I think so. Okay. So, why is that the way that that is? I think like this. What? Okay, dude. Why is everything falling apart right now? Why right now? 1 second. Okay, we're all good. Okay. Hello. How's everyone doing? Okay, so here's the situation. I have two major updates. The first is I think my I think my NAS imploded. Yeah, my NAS imploded. I was told TrueNAS scale would be stable. Instead, uh, it blew up. So that's really frustrating. Should try Gwix. It's basically NixOS if it was good. Ooh, those are fighting words on this channel. I get the feeling you're gonna have to defend that position. Um, I've heard of Gwix, but yeah, I don't. Is that the one the GNU people are building on top of Herd? Is that what that is? Anyways, okay. So yes, my NAS imploded, and I'm very upset about this. Stairs. Okay, and we're building my Linux desktop, right? So for those of you not in the know about my updates to this environment, um, basically, wait, let's make sure I've got audio going through the right thing. Okay, yes, we're good. This because all of last stream, my audio was like coming from the webcam, so it sounded like ass, and nobody said anything until the end. Okay, so we've done some major updates, right? I'm now no longer streaming off of the Linux box. I've offloaded that onto the MacBook, which means I don't need my Linux box to be. I don't need it to do everything, which means I can afford to be more tinkery with it. And that's exciting. So maybe it's time to play with Nix. Maybe it's time. Because I don't need to like get OBS working on Nix or things like that. But I can so I can kind of focus in. You said it was a result of being on the treadmill, if I recall correctly. Which was? Oh, the audio? Maybe. Gwix uses Linux but uses a different init system. OpenRC, I think. Interesting. Maybe, like, I haven't been around in the Linux world long enough to be mad about systemd. Like, I've only used Linux with any level of competence since major distributions switched to systemd, so that's just kind of my default. So I've never thought to myself, like, damn, I really miss init scripts. I'm like, damn, I like that there's a single interface for all these things. So maybe that's a bad take, but that's kind of where I stand. Um, yeah. Okay. So basically, the setup now is I've got the MacBook over here to the left of me, running Streamlabs instead of OBS, which lets me easily stream to both Twitch and YouTube at the same time, which I'm pretty hyped about, to be honest. Streaming on Twitch sounds like kind of a fun time. I started streaming on YouTube instead of Twitch because like I already had an audience TM here. But I feel like Twitch is a better streaming platform. I hate systemd, but as an init system, I still think it's the lesser evil. Yeah, like, okay, I'm standing on an extremely uninformed opinion here, so don't take what I'm saying here about systemd and that sort of thing as like my like throwing my hat into the ring here. Like I don't have a strong opinion. what I find is that like init is conceptually a single job to me. And I like that in general, a lot of these things are housed in a system that I find relatively easy to read and manage. And I can kind of like, I don't know, the centralization of it seems to me to make that process a little easier for kind of noobs like me. Um, that's where I've been. I tried running FreeBSD for a while and dealing with the init scripts, and no system D. Didn't notice much difference, to be honest. And so yeah, like the major differences for me running FreeBSD was like I had to build a machine specifically for like that would be hardware compatible. And then I learned that the NeoVim ecosystem is extremely Linux centric and is actually not very like doesn't support BSDs very well. That was a weird finding. And then I also had to compile. I wanted Marksman, which is the LSP I use for Markdown in NeoVim. And that's written in F sharp. So I had to like compile. I had to compile Visual, or not Visual Studio. Like I had to compile some like Microsoft Studio stuff or something like that. And then so that I could like compile Marksman so that I could plug it into NeoVim. And I was like, this is too much. This is too much for Markdown linting. Like, no way. Why would you write something in F sharp in the first place? I'm sure somebody is like an F sharp enthusiast and it's like probably a fine language and everything. But it just seems odd. .NET, thank you. It seems odd to me to kind of like, knowing full well the beast that is Microsoft, why would you nail yourself further into that coffin? Like, that's just weird. Okay, anyways, that's a rant. The nice thing about systemd is if some part doesn't work, you can just turn them off and replace them, generally speaking. Yeah, like, I've found systemd to be fairly ergonomic, you know? The big hate for systemd right now is adding age verification, though from what I heard, it's not full. Holy shit, okay, that's a big deal. I mean, I have heard that the age verification thing is becoming a real big, like a real issue. Specifically, obviously, in Linux, right? Because this is the privacy platform. What the fuck are we doing here? Sorry, I'm very tired today, so we're gonna get this sweary mood. Sorry if that's abrasive. I don't mean it towards anybody in particular. I'm just gonna be a little more off the cuff today, I think. Okay, yeah. Let's briefly chat about that, and then I want to talk about some other updates, and then I'm debating a few distros, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go Nix today, because I've done enough Arch Linux crap in my life. Nothing about it is all that fun or interesting to me. Maybe it's just time. It's gonna be kind of funny to run NixOS and then still have Ansible in the mix, but what are you gonna do, right? It's mostly a failure in almost every way, though, so coast is clear for now. Yeah, but the principle of it, right? Like, it's the fact that somebody intends to do it that kind of stresses me out. But anyways, okay. So, I heard, and this is, again, not particularly informed stance, right? Or even, I don't have, like, sources other than somebody told me this was the case. I live in Canada, and from what I've heard, there is like a bill or a proposal of some sort that seems to be looking to ban social media use for people under 16. And as the smartphone addiction guy, right? I'm like, that sounds pretty good, right? I like that idea in principle. On the other hand, I don't like the invasive technologies required to enforce that kind of ban. I'm also like not a fan of banning being the solution. Because like, I mean, how many times has prohibition worked, right? Like, I don't know. That doesn't seem particularly effective historically. So there's that too. So I'm kind of sitting in this place where like, okay, we could invent a series of like privacy invasive technologies to age gate um, social media, or we could like start applying like penalties to companies that are knowingly attention engineering. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe we could just start finding them. So I like I'm a big fan of creating environments that are conducive to behaviors that we desire and make desire like behaviors that we don't desire less likely to happen or harder to do, right? So I don't think you should try to like in the case of alcohol, right? I don't think you should ban alcohol. You should make it expensive or like make it if it's just you in your own home, not talking about a country, like you should put it not in sight and things like this, you know? So I don't know. Okay, but it's kind of debatable how bad the situation is with age verification in System D. The controversial PR was mostly made to not get caught in regulation. Yeah, but it is like, you're kind of like bowing out a little bit. You're kind of saying like, okay, we're going to appease this, which is not the best. But not to throw any shade at the implementers and the maintainers. This is a very difficult situation to be in. It was forked tonight instantly. Yeah. Yeah, but it's made by Red Hat, so there's a chance in the future to add age verification. Yeah. Bill got proposed. It's been amended to my understanding. There are ways to do age gating that don't impact privacy nearly so drastically. But we're lazy as a culture. That would be interesting. Yeah, I'd be interested to hear more about that. Okay. So there's some quick thoughts. What else have I been up to? Okay, so my NAS exploded, which is extremely frustrating because I want to edit a video. And my files are on that NAS, and I just don't have the time or energy to fix that crap right now. So I'm a little frustrated about that. TrueNAS scale was supposed to be very stable, and it started misbehaving almost right away. Yes, I've heard a little bit about zero knowledge proofs, just briefly though. I'll take a look at some point. So I don't know. I don't want to jump to conclusions and kind of be that person who's like, here's a product or a software or something that's got a great reputation, lots of people love, and I had one bad experience with it and be like, yeah, I'm never using that ever again. But part of me is really also just emotionally I'm just upset. Like, what the hell, man? And my TrueNAS scale install has been there for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 months. It hasn't moved. I've barely used it, and it just like explodes. This is ridiculous. Hey, Plus, how's it going? My NAS died. The TrueNAS scale installation just gonzo. So that's extremely frustrating. I'm gonna have to like reinstall, check on the health of the drives, and all of this is going to stop me from making videos for a bit, which is really annoying because I had a video I was excited to put out. Because I have been working on swapping my gaming machine, building the Steam box with Bazite, and that was going to be a lot of fun. And I have clips on that drive, or on my NAS, so more stuff to do. Very frustrated about this. What else? Yeah, okay. What's the good word in here? What is the good word in here? TrueNAS scale blew up on my NAS, which I'm frustrated about. And what else are we up to? Thinking agency. Yes, actually, that's a good one. I definitely see how it's bowing down. It's just frustrating when people direct their anger towards maintainers. Yes, I agree. We definitely need disobedience like ageless Linux distro, yeah. Oh, mine is still not broken, and I treat it like a monkey swing. Was your data on the NAS fine? I don't know yet. I just found out that the NAS broke. So we'll find out. I mean, it's not going to be too hard, right? Like, this isn't going to be a terrible fix. We reinstall TrueNAS scale, we load up the drives, we hope that they're healthy. If not, we do some like ZFS shenanigans to like check on the health or maybe hopefully heal them in some way. I was running 2 mirrored pairs, so the data's probably fine. Just means like setting up the shares again and all of that. And it's just, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But that's what I get for lagging so hard on setting up my backup solutions. That one's on me, guys. Oh well, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, worst case, I move to an Umbral Pro, right? People keep sending me NASes, so maybe I use one. I do still have my Zima board too, so I can use that. I gave my dad the Zima Cube too, which he's pretty hyped about, so I'm glad that happened. So yeah, I guess we'll find out. Okay, what else? I want to show off more stuff I've been working with. For those of you, hold on. Oh, I've been working on this little Pomodoro app thing. Hey, bud. And it's coming along. Check this out. Not this one. It's a bit of a mess, but we're getting there. Yes. Okay. So I've been working on this Pomodoro app that's like Hades inspired. Because as you can tell, I'm walking right now on my little treadmill. Get back to work, chat. I've been trying to like make working from home a sort of like healthier experience. You know what I mean? And so I've been looking into ways to do that. And a Pomodoro timer was actually really useful for that because every 30 minutes I would like get up and do some like push-ups or something, right? And I was like, wait, I want this to be more fun. So I started building something. Oh wait, I'm trying to spin up mobile now as well. We'll see how that goes. So I've got this thing. This is CachyOS. Oh wait, I'm not sharing the correct screen. Hold on. Okay, here's CachyOS. Go get the treadmill. Hell yeah. Oops. My worst failure with NixOS in multiple years was once I had to plug in a keyboard into a server and press down, down, enter, blindly to get to a state where I could use SSH again. That would be nice. Yeah, setting up proper backups is a small but boring task without a direct outcome. Not having them when you need them is a different kind of drama. Indeed. Okay, so yes, I'm like trying to be healthier while working from home. And so, and a couple of other things that you might not know about me if you're newer here. I'm like a Greek mythology enthusiast. I'm on my third read of the Odyssey right now. I'm on my second read of the Iliad, and I've been reading a bunch of other like kind of scholarly background literature. So I enjoy Greek myth. I also enjoy the game Hades and pick one of 3 systems. I haven't played Slay the Spire yet, but I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I'm trying not to decay into my old age, so I'm trying to address my health while I work from home. I was getting upper and lower back pain a lot, especially like on stream days, because I'm like working in my office like this, like a gremlin, right? And then I don't leave the house, and then I stream for another 2 hours, and then especially in the winter, it's just dark by the time I'm done streaming, so I just wouldn't do anything. So I'm like, okay, something needs to change. I installed this pull-up bar. I've got some dumbbells. I've got a treadmill and a standing desk. We're doing the thing, right? And then I build CachyOS. So here's the idea, right? The idea is to make to basically gamify exercise while you're doing your work from home stuff. So you go on an Odyssey. I know it's cheesy. And the idea is you do your vigil, which is your, let's say 30 minutes of like Pomodoro focus time. And then you get a trial, some sort of exercise or something like that. And then you get a break, right? The idea is vigil, trial, blessing. Cool. And then you do that some number of times. You vow to complete that many trials. So usually I do like 4 of these. That's like my major work period. I do 4 to 6 of them. So the deal is we take the vow and then you get a vigil. Okay, so you're supposed to be focused for about 30 minutes. And then if we go over here, you can see vigil 1 of 4, next trial in 30 minutes. Sweet. Yeah, I wish I'd taken better care of the nerves in my hands. Ooh, yeah, that does not sound fun at all. So once you finish your 30 minutes, let's skip state, you get this. Whoops, there we go. You basically are presented with options for like healthy breaks. I call them trials because why not? So for example, you can do cardio stuff, right? Let's say you do some jumping jacks, or you can do strength stuff and you get push-ups, or let's say you're like me and you often forget to eat while you're working. You know, we've got nutrition stuff, right? So you take it, let's say I do some push-ups, boom, you get this screen where it's like, okay, it gives you the instructions for what you're supposed to do. It gives you a suggested amount of time for how long this might take. So in this case, I need to tweak all the trials. Yeah, and then over to the left, you have your patron watching over you, which is kind of cool. Oh, thank you, Proton. Excellent catch. Let's bring that down. Okay. I'm still waiting on some doodles. So I didn't want to use any AI-generated art here. I'm fine with AI-generated CSS, but art, I want to pay somebody for. So UI design kind of goes hard. Thank you. It was a lot of work. So imagine here you have this like lion sigil constellation for Heracles, right? That would be cool. And then I'm using real epithets found in like Homeric poems and other things. Some of them I have to come up with because I don't think Heracles is mentioned in, I think he's mentioned in one of the other Trojan epic cycle stories, but not in the Iliad or Odyssey. Because at some point they have to go get Heracles' bow, but that's not in the Iliad. Anyways, cool. So you say you're done, and then you report. You're like, how much did you do? You can say that you did none, some, all, or extra, which is nice. Very cool visual and sound design. Thank you. The sound design is something I want to completely revamp. That's like a big. I just took a bunch of like what is it, royalty-free sounds and tossed them in. I did my best, but I want to do like good sound design because visuals I'm not that great at. This is a lot of like me just sort of tweaking back and forth with AI CSS stuff. But audio, I have a background in music, nothing professional, but I enjoyed music and I made music, or like I did sound design for a high school's musical. So I'm looking forward to that. Anyways, you report, and then you get this little thing that's like, hey, this is your rest. I should change this. Like, this should be the main thing. It's like, hey, the trial is done, not go do more push-ups. I feel like this indicates to a user, wait, do I do more push-ups or like what are we doing here? Anyways, you get your break. Cool. And then the vigil begins again. And you do this some number of times, right? So let's jump through. You can see we've got different rarities, right? So maybe I want to do some neck rolls, like loosen up that way, or you can do some like mindfulness practices, whatever. You get the instructions, so on and so forth. Are those cards on a web app? Must be AI. Yes, those are cards on a web app. So it's a lot of AI generated CSS because I could not design that. Cool. All right, continue on, continue on, continue on. I just want to show off the last one. Hopefully it works. Do this, do this. There we go. And then, darn. Okay, so there's this one thing, something rep with patrons. Yes, I think that's the idea. Like I want to throw it on Patreon and sell it that way. I'm working on setting up my Apple ID. We're going to ship on macOS first, and then I'm working on some Linux stuff. I want to open source the Linux version. Should be a lot of fun. And so on and so forth. When you're done, you get your little homecoming, and it kind of shows you a little spider diagram. Fair enough. I stopped doing CSS entirely for the same reason. Yeah, I hate CSS. I've never enjoyed writing CSS. I like design. I did a lot of sketching myself. And then it was like, okay, here's a sketch. Here's like me kind of drawing where things should go, and I send the picture over to AI and whatnot. I meant the in-app patrons. Oh, something rep with patrons. Yes. I'm working on that a little bit. Like I want this to be like a patron recognizes, like, let's say you did mostly strength exercises this time around. You're then like a patron associated with strength is going to be the one who kind of like oversees your homecoming, your Nostos. That would be cool. Okay. So that's the basic idea. I want to show off two more things real quick. The first one, here's the user profile. I need to sketch these Do you plan on paying the yearly license to sign it on macOS? Yes, yes, I do. Um, I'm like, I make enough money, just barely, but I do, off of YouTube AdSense that I can like pay for some of these things like that. So I'm gonna sign this. We're gonna sell the DMG thing on Patreon. For you, for like Discord users, I might just like, especially a bunch of beta testers, if anyone's interested. Gonna send this in. Add beta win, yeah. So you'll get a constellation that kind of represents whatever, kind of what exercises you've been mostly doing. And it should be kind of cool. That's the idea. The last one I really liked the flavor of was this. So on the settings page, I was like trying to come up with a thematic way to represent settings. I didn't want like press F to cry, you know, like stuff like that. I wanted it to feel thematic. So the idea is this. You go to the Oracle. I was going to do the Delphic Oracle, then I did more research, and apparently it wasn't known as the Delphic Oracle until like post the sort of like mythological era. So Pythia, that's what that was referred to. By new patrons for expanded activities. And so the idea is you go to the Oracle to get your prophecy about how your Odyssey is going to go. But I added this little flavor, right? You're the master of your epos, your story, command the fates, and plot your Odyssey. I wrote this by hand. That EM dash is mine. I did that EM dash. One of my goals here is like, I don't want a drop of AI generated text anywhere. I want the artful experience of it to be entirely human. That's an important thing. Neither Delphi nor Oracle are desirable technologies. But yeah, kind of cool. So you can adjust all sorts of things like how long the suggested time for a trial is, or how long the break is after you do a trial, how long your vigils are, what the default number of vows, or like how many cycles you vow by default. There's a delay option, right? So if your vigil is about to end, but you want like 2 more minutes to just wrap some work up, you can delay it. Sound. I'm going to do some diagnostic stuff, but just crashes and errors. I'm not taking your information. And then I have this other thing, the grounding ritual. This is a me thing. So here, one last thing, fellas. All natural and dash. You love to see it. Oh yeah. So here, this is how I like to start my work sessions. I do a little meditation, takes me about 5 minutes. I do this like 30 deep breaths thing. It's nice. I name a couple things that I'm grateful for specifically about work, because I don't want to get better about my work. And I think gratitude helps with that. And then I just write what I want to work on. It takes about 10 minutes and it makes the rest of my day better. And yeah, I'm really kind of proud of it. It's really come together. So that's that. All right, let me look at some of these questions. So why would you do this? Surprised to see you pronounce it as EM dash when you've previously said you never pronounce acronyms letter by letter. You're right, Artemis. You're totally right. M dash it is from now on. I need to be consistent. Curious how you went about designing the constellation system. Did you need to iterate through many constellations per user state? Would love to hear your thought process on this, and if you think there would be need to be additions required for future states. Okay. So the constellations aren't really designed yet. Right now, I think I've got 10 that I want to like draw up. And I'm going to do one for each one of the myth figures. I'm not doing just gods. I'm doing gods and heroes, because why not? Each one of them is going to get their own sort of constellation thing. And then I'm just going to steal one for the constellation you get in your epos, your like player history, your story. Yeah. Let's see. Did you need to... And then, yeah, for the constellation system, explain a little bit further which part of that you mean. I'd be happy to talk about it. Oliver says, fair enough. I feel like a lot of AI-generated web apps lose their human touch, not from the look, but from how everything is written. Yeah, like... Well, here, let me switch to Facecam. You all know me. right? Like, I love my Greek myths. I've been talking about it for a while now on this channel, and it would feel so diminished to me if I didn't write this text myself for fun, you know? And so yeah, like the writing of it is such a joy to me that I don't want to do that. That I want to do it myself so that we have that human touch, right? Okay. What do we got? Is this for profit? Yes and no. So the Mac version is going to be sold for $10, period, end of story, no subscription. So not a huge profit. Like, I doubt this is going to sell more than like 50 copies, right? So yeah, I think slight profit there. I want to ship it for free on Linux and open source that. I'll see what I can do about that. Open sourcing is a little challenging if I want to sell it. So it might be one of those things where part of it's open sourced, the Linux version's open sourced, whatever. Partly because I want to participate in that open sourceness, but also partly because Linux users aren't going to fucking pay for it anyways. So, like, fair enough. Mac users will. And then the mobile version, if that works at all, that'll be subscription based. Mobile users are mobile users. That's kind of the game plan there. Great to catch your stream. Clicked for NixOS. Recently switched. I am very happy with it, with how it stays clean on its own. Yeah, that's one of the things I'm really excited about in that sense. So yeah, sorry, we're doing a little rant before I get onto NixOS things. I'm showing off some of my side projects. I have a deep parasocial relationship with you. Does that count as knowing? Kind of. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So one more thing, dude, every time I stream with like a little, just need to add those $9.99 God Hero expansion packs. What I wanted to do, maybe again, I kind of want to make a lot of the features like for free on Linux and then charge other folks. Shame to hear it would be a subscription for the phone. Yeah, I mean, because for the phone side of it, I'm thinking like little like sharing stuff. I'm not sure. It depends. If I have like cloud costs, then on mobile, I can't really do a lifetime thing, right? It would just like eventually I'd have to shut it down unless I have like recurring revenue. But that's like way down. The Mac version and the desktop versions will be single time. Okay. So, where was I? Yes. I want to do a bunch of cool stuff. Should be as bad as the Whoop subscription. I want to do things like being able to load up or create your own set of like exercises and things, because you know, this is my opinion about what exercises would be useful specifically for me, right? Get the battle pass in there for mobile. Oh yeah. Is it bad? Like, it's a little elitist of me, I think, but I'm like, when I think of the desktop version, I'm like, I want that to be awesome and fun and like really like fair. I want to give away as much of that for free as I can, but on mobile, I'm like, I kind of want that to just fund everything else. Because, well, I don't use my phone. I don't know. That feels weird, right? But whatever. Anyways, yes. Where was I? Yeah, I want to be able to load up your own kind of like cards and stuff. So that you can pick your own exercises, right? Like, I need reminders to eat, and I need that built into the game. But like, other people aren't going to need that, right? Or like, some people aren't interested in doing like strength exercises, and they might want to do like more flexibility stuff. Whatever, right? We know where the whales are. Yeah, that's another thing. Okay, weird rant. I'm gonna jump on for a second. You know how like Riot charges exorbitant amounts of money for like skins in Valorant and League of Legends? You know, there's like $500 skins for the whales, and some people get really up in arms about this. They're like, oh no, they're not, like, they're charging such ridiculous amounts. I'm like, this is a cosmetic only change that you don't have to buy, right? I'm totally happy with my free-to-play experience being better because whales are funding it. That's chill for me, man. So anyways, mostly since from what I see, the constellation system is dependent on user activity. That's correct. It sounds more like a continuum of possibilities as opposed to a single discrete constellation per user threshold. Yeah, I'm trying to keep it MVPE. So like, I would love to have like a really cool, dynamic, growing constellation thing. But for now, I need to limit how many things I need to draw. Hey, IntMap. And I need to limit the number of things I need to code and debug. You know? Holy fuck, my bank account is hurt by Valorant. Yeah, fair. Clearly, you need more skinner box mechanisms and dark patterns too. Of course. Of course. Yeah. Anyways, all right, let's just try one more thing. I want to show off the first versions of mobile, and then we'll do some Linux things. So if we pop over here, I think here. What the heck is the command again? Lord. It's kind of embarrassing when you don't remember the commands. It's not the sim. That's Mac. Did I not add that in? Oh my god. Apps, mobile. Where's my package? Can I run it here? I think it's... Ah, okay, npm run star. I can just do that. Okay. Apps mobile. Think this will work? No. Ah, is it just that? npm run iOS? Yeah, let's see if that works. Okay. Okay, what do you think about providing an IPA? I'm personally not a big IPA drinker. Sorry, what is an IPA exactly? Excuse me, I'm kind of late. What do you mean by homelabbing? By homelabbing, I mean the practice of like self-hosting applications. So that might include running a Plex server so that you can watch movies that are stored on your hard drive, things like that. We're doing a little tangent first, but I will get to it, I promise. Let me know if that answers your question. If not, lots of folks in the chat are like experienced homelabbers and happy to explain what we mean. All right, just guessing. I think just the people in my class right now have spent excess of 2,500 on Valorant skins. Holy shoot. Okay, I might have to change my opinion on the skins thing, because it's one thing when, let's say, like a Fang software developer spends $500 on a skin. That's fine. That developer has the money for that. It's another thing if like kids are getting roped into spending a bunch of money on skins. That's not good, you know? Yeah, that feels predatory at that point. Try Gwix, it's great. I've heard good things already today in chat. You're the second person to mention it. Arguably running servers at home, yes. I think that's a good definition as well. Total sidetrack, before main stuff begins, how do you feel about Philip K. Dick? Do androids dream of electric sheep? Is it a trip of a book? I've actually never read it myself. A little, sorry to disappoint. I'll put it on the list, though. How long is this going to take? Whatever, we'll let it do its thing. I thought he also means like experimenting with Linux and things. Yes, I wouldn't call experimenting with Linux. Well, no. Yeah. Yes, I would include that. Personally, I would. For that, I recommend Arch. Yes. It could also mean that, like, experimenting and debugging a crappy Gentoo install. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So here we go. This is... Can I make this bigger? Can I do, like... Oh! Sorry, I don't do app development. So this is all new to me. So this is my attempt at a mobile version of it. It's got a lot of the same ideas, you know? You can sort of track your record. The same sort of settings screen exists, and the same kind of deal, right? Same stuff. The star background needs to be dealt with a little bit. It's a little invasive and annoying. The big difference here is I'm kind of taking the forest style. If you're familiar with the app, the forest approach here, where the vigil is going to be on the whole time, and if you leave, you kind of get shamed, you know. And so on. And it's got all the same ideas. Kind of cool, right? I'm personally really excited about this. Like, I know I'm going to use the hell out of this. It's just, it's so like, it's so fun to me. This page needs work. But yeah. All right, cool. How do I get out of here? I'm like super excited about this. It's been like all whoops. It's been like the only thing I can work on or think about for the past 3-4 weeks. So thank you all for listening to my rant about this. I've been having a great time. We can tell you're excited. Yeah. And before you leave, an Arch System idle too long and a Pac-Man. Yes. Sponsored by Debian Gang. Ah, yes, we're a Debian house here, and we're looking at possibly bringing in a little bit more Nix stuff into the game. Side-loaded apps on iOS come in terms of IPA files. Ah, basically just a zip renamed. Actually, a lot like APK files. It's way where instead of paying a dev fee, people just use their free dev certs. Okay, so let's talk about these things because sounds like a good time. Okay, so my intention with something like this, sorry, one sec. My intention here would be to make this like the free sort of private approach to this possible, right? So I think most people who see this are going to engage with it by just like buying it off the store, right? That's where most of this is going to happen. However, I'm totally chill with just giving it away for free or at least cheaper, something like that, to like through an IPA, through an APK. That's totally fine with me. I'll have to think about how, if there's a subscription model at all for the mobile, how that interacts with like giving it away for free on IP and APK. We'll see. But yes, those are things that I would happily do. They just require more time and effort. They'll probably be hosted on like my Patreon or something. Okay. Using something like Flutter or doing it for iOS and Android separately. I'm using React Native, which I know. But I wrote, like the desktop application was already in React. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do React Native. I engineered this thing to be able to develop it very quickly and easily. And so it's just like TypeScript and React and Electron, which is like nobody's favorite stack, right? But I just wanted to ship as quickly as possible to get a feel for what the experience is like. Because I've never shipped an app. I've never even written anything in TypeScript. I'm like a Python and C person, and I've dabbled in Go and some Java. Last time I did front end was AngularJS. So, yeah, kind of went the quickest approach. I am interested in looking at Towery, as an alternative, but that's like a down the road kind of thing. I've seen devs surface their self-hosted apps hosted via TestFlight. I don't know if it comes with the Apple tax though. Oh, well, take a look. It's always a stack you end up with though. Yeah, it's just like, it's so quick. It's so quick and easy. If this like pops off, which, you know, is not my expectation in the least, then I will look at a leaner, a much leaner build and have some fun with that. Okay, cool. Let's just install Nix. I'm going to go ahead and download, and we'll take it from there. And I'll bring this with us. TypeScript Towery isn't bad. Okay, so I can do... I misunderstood originally. I thought if I was using Towery, I would need... Is it Tory? Like in Stargate, the Tory? Or is it Towery? Like, what is this? Yeah, exactly. I thought I'm going to say it like Stargate. Like I thought Tory would require me to write Rust. And I was like, there's no way I'm writing Rust while also learning how to ship an app, right? I'm like, that's going to be insane. I'm just now learning some TypeScript, very comfortable language, really cool tooling. To quote George Bush, misunderestimated TypeScript. It's actually really fun. I'd kind of been a hater for a while because I had done JavaScript things prior to like ECMA script, and JavaScript sucked at the time. So yeah, like that's kind of my background. And so I was a bit like hesitant to enjoy TypeScript. And then I tried TypeScript back in like, oh, 2018 with a React Native application. And React Native wasn't good at the time. And TypeScript was still like kind of getting adopted. And so the experience wasn't very good. And then I just sort of like didn't do much. I was like, okay, screw this. This sucks. But now I'm quite enjoying it. It also, like, LLMs make everything easier. Well, not everything, but it's a lot nicer writing a language when you can query, where you can just like select a block of code and be like, explain this to me, please. And what's the idiomatic way to do it? I wrote it this way, but what's the TypeScript way to do it? That's one of my favorite uses of LLMs, by the way. If you are afraid of like losing your chops to LLMs or things like that, or you're afraid of losing learning opportunities because you're like vibe coding, take chunks of code and ask like, here's what I wrote, or here's what you wrote. What's the idiomatic way? What are the names of those idioms? Like idia? What's the plural for that? What are the architectural patterns that are sort of like common within this language and ecosystem? You can get a lot of learning opportunities out of this, which I think is super important for people who are getting into kind of like junior development positions during this vibe coding era. But yeah. 3HJS still sucks, yes. Okay, I assume like Taurus. It's based on Rust for the backend, yes. Okay, but it's like, I don't have to write Rust. It's like all of the Electron gluey stuff that I don't think about, Tori handles in Rust, and I probably don't have to touch it that much. That's my new understanding of it. Okay. There are TypeScript bindings for soy devs like me. Sweet. Okay, so that means I can write Tori in TypeScript. That sounds awesome. It's astonishing how different TS and JS feel. Yes, agreed. Like, I thought TypeScript was going to feel like JavaScript with types, kind of like Python with type hints. No, TypeScript is its own language. Like, it feels like a different language, and a much, much better language. So I've quite enjoyed it. I installed NixOS today. I tried removing the desktop environment from a window manager of choice and had no icons for most things. And the guy's just so you know. All right, good to know. Thank you. Use TypeScript with TS results, ES, and Zod. Yes, I'm using Zod. I've got like a pretty nice. Actually, I'm sorry. Everybody showed up today to see me install Nix, and I'm just yapping about my project. I hope that's okay. If you're like, please get onto Nix because show ends at like 6. Let me know. And we can move on. But also, welcome to the show. I almost never am on topic, and frankly, whenever I'm not on topic, the stream does better. Who knows? Okay, so this is closed source TM for now, but I'm totally happy to share. So I'm using like a pretty. I think my understanding is like I'm using cool TypeScript stuff. Like I'm using Drizzle ORM, which I've been kind of looking forward to for a while. I don't like Prisma. Prisma feels heavy-handed. I don't like DSLs in general. Drizzle made me happy. It was just so easy. Hello? I need to stop using Safari. It's so bad. I'm using Zod for validation. There's a couple of other things. I really wanted to use Bun and Biome, but I did I'm an Electron, and so like I hear Electron ships like its own node, so I couldn't use Bun. Oh well, what are you gonna do, right? For Tori, if I'm not mistaken, wraps apps that have a Rust backend or a TypeScript front end. Oh, okay. Thanks, Zachary. I think that the XDG desktop portal GNOME to get them back without installing GNOME. It has most depends for GTK. Oh, okay. Good to know. That's going to be useful. Try Fedora Core. Awesome distro. Really? Okay. I haven't used Fedora since like 2017. It's been a long time. I wanted to like Drizzle. I moved to Caselli I use Dino for most things rather than Node. Okay, I've heard Dino thrown around. I liked the thing that I liked the most about Bun was one, my friends were using it. So my friends are much better developers than I am. So anytime I can use the tooling that they're using, I'm a much happier camper because, you know, whatever. Because I can get advice from them. But yes, I've heard good things about Dino. What's like the hype around Dino? Okay, so this has been sort of the setup. And like if we dig in, I've been using OpenSpec, by the way. So naturally, there's a bit of vibe coding going on. I could not build an app this polished looking in 4 weeks without a little AI assistance. The way I do that is OpenSpec. So like if we go here, OpenSpec writes, actually, I'll just show you what that feels like. So now if we go back, we can do one of these. Actually, let's do it like this. So what you can do is you sort of have these spec documents, right? So myth figure epithets is one. And let's pop this over here for now. It kind of like captures the idea of what you're trying to build. You have a proposal, and then it kind of keeps track of a spec for you. And then it creates a series of tasks for the AI to do. And the interaction is pretty nice. You just do a little OPS X explore, kind of define or like explore the idea of a feature you want to build. You turn it into one of these proposals and then you apply. And the way I've been doing this basically has been I get the proposal. I sort of like go through the explore phase back and forth with the AI to try to come up with like, okay, what's a good architecture for this? How do we want to build it? I propose that. I create a draft PR on GitHub, and then I review the proposal as a draft PR. Once the proposal is in a good state, then I implement that. I use the AI to implement, and then I do, and then I turn that into like a proper ready to review PR. I review the code. Maybe I'll let Claude do a code review or something like that as well. And then we merge. And that's been a really, really fun process. Like it's made using AI actually fun instead of feeling like I've been robbed of the experience. So that's cool. Okay. And then, yeah, basically the way this works is I have this core, right? Sorry again. All right. Sorry, I'm just going to keep track of messages here. Bun has some problems. It's based on a lot of, oh, it's fast type. I see. Okay. Dino is very secure, offers smart primitives. I'll take a look. Bun got bought by Anthropic. Holy shit, really? Okay, so might be a Dino guy moving forward. Tried Bun for one project, didn't support WebSockets, I think. Switch back to Node. Anthropic runs Bun. Okay. What Linux distro do you use? Oh, okay, asking Lo-Fi Turtle. I've really liked Conductor spec, which is a more rigorous version of some of the open spec parts. Ooh, yeah, there's a lot of like the spec-driven stuff is really popping off. And I think it is the way forward for like vibe coding stuff. It's just, you're in a lot greater touch with your code this way. Use Bazite, considering Cachy though, in case the mutableness ever bites me more than I care to deal with. Ooh, yeah, I'm gonna use Bazite for my Steambox. But I personally don't think I would survive using an immutable operating system for my workstation. Okay, last thing I swear. Oh yeah, I was waiting for the download anyways. Okay, so I've got this like pure functional core that handles things like the draw mechanism for like which exercises are drawn, handles session logic, handles like stats and trials and all of that stuff. Kind of goes in this core that's got like this state machine kind of reducer thing that just sends off app snapshots and things like that. I've got this contract that's all Zod based stuff to ensure that like the communications between the front end and the back end are always typed and clean and nice. And then I was so happy about this because the back end is this like pure functional state machine reducer thing, making two front ends, the desktop and the mobile, was like a breeze because they just consume the same backend. It was awesome. Okay, all right. That's my rant. I'm very happy about this. I'm going to close this all down. Thank you all for listening. Okay. Oh, I'm tired. It's it's hard to stream while while walking on the treadmill, to be honest. Okay, so we're looking for Nix. Starts with an N. We're gonna throw it on this guy and flash that sucker. Okay. Just gonna get some water in me because my voice hurts. Okay. Actually, one second. How is this doing? I'm curious how the Twitch stream is going. Nobody's watching on Twitch. We're all on YouTube. That's so funny. All right. I might have to learn how to do Twitch things a little better. Okay. So, don't like immutable distros. Yeah. I'm currently using Unraid for my home lab. Most people may not want to use it because of $250 price tag for a lifetime key, but it suits my case. Mixed size drive rate is great. That does sound awesome. I've heard good things about Unraid. Maybe I could get them to send me a license. Probably could. I mean, my TrueNAS scale install just broke, so maybe now's the time. I am using Zod Infer. Yes. I was really happy because obviously I hate code duplication, right? Like I don't want to be defining types twice because then we have to do a bunch of linting to catch like drift, and that just sucks. Zod Infer, oh, so good. So good. Yeah, so I might take a look at Unraid. It could be really cool. I'll send them an email and see if they're willing to send me a license. I'm even writing issues for my private projects where I'm the only dev and mention them in commits. I'm used to keeping track like this anyway, and it keeps the specs nicely attached. Yes, yeah, cool. Okay. What do we got? How do you survive without Launchpad? What is Launchpad? Launchpad? Is this a Linux thing? All right, somebody send me a link. Or tell me what to Google. There, I give it a shot because it's nice to not have admin my desktop. Yeah. Wait, you stream on Twitch too? I do. I just started. So I'm doing this dual streaming thing just to find out how Twitch is going to go. I think there's like more growth opportunity in streaming on Twitch. So thought, why not? Could be fun. Just made my first home lab today on Zorin, CachyOS, Casa on it, and Tailscale. Was too stupid to install Ubuntu server. That is a fantastic start. And don't at all feel like you're too stupid for this. Like, you got a Linux distro installed, you've got CachyOS on it, and you've got Tailscale. You can remotely access your home lab from anywhere. You can't be stupid if you pulled that off. You'll get Ubuntu server the next time if you want to. Congratulations. That's freaking awesome. I see NixOS, I click. Nah, it's the application view. Sorry. Launchpad was a thing in macOS. Ah, okay. How to get Launchpad back in Mac? What the heck is... Well, I never lost it, so... All right, let's take a look. We are currently flashing Nix, so we're on the way. I missed the old Launchpad. Is that... Oh, is that this, like... I never use things like that, like... Oh, this is very similar to, like, the GNOME view. Yeah, I just use Raycast for everything. That's sort of my go-to way. Or, like, Spotlight. If I didn't have Raycast, I'd be using Spotlight. Yeah. find it really interesting how a channel about attention economy, social media effects, and somewhat privacy came to self-hosting and Linux tinkering. It's really a trend of sorts with other channels. Yes, yes. I mean, it makes sense, right? Because like Linux doesn't have the same perverse incentives to keep your attention. There's no profit, right? So it ends up not attention engineering because why would you? There's no need to. But then also just like, I think one of the things we talk about on this channel a lot, let's go ahead and go face cam for a bit. One of the things we talk about on this channel a lot is agency. This idea of like, kind of like your autonomy, your ability to make decisions without, without secretive or perverse external impacts or influences, right? Of course, we're always influenced by a myriad of things, but we can be made more aware of what those influences are, and those influences can have our better interests in mind, right? So I think what happens is as you start to think about attention, you realize that your agency is sort of being robbed from you or being undermined in some way, right? It's about changing your behavior without you knowing about it. And so if that's the thing that you care about, eventually you start caring about your agency and other things. Like it starts to trickle out, right? And you're probably somewhat technically savvy if you're tinkering with your phone or other devices to make them more private or less invasive and things like that. So I'm not too surprised that that overlap happens. I'm having trouble keeping up with chat today. You guys are popping off. Okay. Figure I should watch here too. Thanks for popping over to Twitch. It probably helps. Much appreciated. I use AnyRun on my machine. Oh, yes. I think Oliver recommended AnyRun on my Linux boxes, and I loved it. So I will, or something similar. Yeah. It's like GNOME View. Yeah. I use Vicine. Yes, that's the one I was using. Vicine. Yeah, it was really cool. Yes, I love that. Like, I never really cared for PewDiePie's content. Like, it was a little bit too kind of like screamy and annoying for me. No hate to the guy, just not like my kind of art, you know. And then I find out he's like doing all the same stuff I'm doing, but better and cooler and rich and hot. I'm like, come on, man. I'm getting dunked on. But like, jokes aside, it is really cool to see somebody with that much kind of influence also start to take these kinds of things seriously, participate in the open source community, you know, like sharing all of this with people. I've become a big fan. Yeah, but YouTube shows me Linux content because it's the proven way to keep my attention. Yes. Yep. With all the age verification and AI going on major distros, would you still go with them or choose something else? Ooh. Okay. Oh man, so many things going on. So I see a question about the cohorts. Yeah, we're completely revamping that software, and we're hoping to do a launch in August with like a complete new experience. I'm really looking forward to it. It is still in the works. I brought in. We're now a team of 3. We started a company called Aware by Default, and yeah, we're kind of like building stuff on the side. The cohorts being one of those things. Just sort of quietly working away at it, and I'm really looking forward to shipping that soon. So yes, keep your eyes peeled. That is something we are actively working on and is on the way. It just like the amount of logistics to get a company started, to open up a bank account, to start working on software as a group of 3, going to the bank, all of this crap like was just way more than I expected. And so the hiatus has been a lot longer than I wanted, but that is something we're coming back with. So yes, thanks for asking it, Matt. For AI and age gating, I don't know yet. I need to see how that rolls out, right? Because I like local AI. If these are models that run locally, don't send any data home, then I'm not that scared, right? Like that's not a problem. Sometimes AI can be useful, especially these small locally hosted models that can like surface my own information and not share it with anybody else. That sounds like a good time. I'm iffy about trusting Canonical with that because canonically they have a bad history with my information. So I don't know. Any plans to try Linux Mobile? Like way down the road, but yeah, sounds like a lot of fun. So true. I felt so jealous I had to reflect about PewDiePie. Yeah, right? Hey, I swapped to Twitch. Thank you, thank you. What's your YouTube username? I need to make the jump because sometimes people say hi and I'm like, hello, which one are you? Because I know usernames, but then sometimes usernames switch, and then if you switch platforms, blah, blah, blah. So let me know who you are, and I'll say, hey, properly. By the way, coming up with questions for whatever reason, how long have your website been abandoned for? A while. A while. There's too many things to keep track of and support, right? Like, I just couldn't manage Substack and YouTube and a personal website and build software and do a full-time job and not be a shitty boyfriend. You know, like all of those things came together, and it's just like, yeah, I'm gonna strip my website way back and just make it a bunch of links because I can't maintain it. Ah, okay. Hey, Zachary. Okay. I know Canada is working to exempt Linux and other FOSS for their age verification. That's fantastic. I didn't know that. Another dub for Canada. Oh, there are times I love being Canadian. Okay. So, looks like we're all set to try some NixOS stuff. Obviously, we're not going to get that far today, but we can get started. Unfortunately, well, I'm really excited about this, but it's unfortunate for stream things. I'm going to be away for 2 weeks. I'm going out to BC to where my grandparents were, and we're doing celebration of life, that kind of thing. So it'll be sort of I'll enjoy being there, but I'm gonna miss them. Sorry about the sort of sadder tone about that. Just the way it is. But yes, I'm heading out, so I'm gonna be away for 2 weeks, and then we'll get back to some NixOSing and homelabbing. Should be fun. Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh, California, not Canada. Oops. Okay, this isn't what I wanted. What is Chewy's button combination to bring up the BIOS? Just hit every button, probably. I can do this, maybe? I forgot Grub is awesome and just, like, can drop me into the BIOS. Right? That's how that works? Question mark? Come on. Yes. Oh, everything is so much better than Windows. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, it's my grandfather and grandmother passed. Grandfather last year and grandmother the year prior, so I've had at least a bit of time to mourn and those things. Okay, cool. So let's do this, and we're gonna get nixing. Now, definitely not LTS, that's for sure. All right, we're just gonna go GNOME. I know. Which one of you is a GNOME hater? I think Plus, you hate GNOME, right? By the way, today is Kiss a Wookiee Day. Where will I find one? Failed to start load kernel modules. That's interesting. Why does that look like Windows? Is that grub command line you just need to type normal to get back to the menu list? No restart needed. Ooh. Didn't know that. Very cool. Okay, I'm not actually sure what's happening right now, so I guess I'm just hitting you with an ad. My bad. Oh, wow. Okay, that's slick. Cool. So while we cook through some of this, why don't you all keep me up to date about your projects? What have you all been working on? Oh, this is not defaulting to 4K readable stuff. That's fine. Apologies. I am struggling with this almost as much as you. By the way, how did your umbrella adventure go last week? I kind of didn't really catch up with it. We got umbrella working. It worked pretty well. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this device yet. It's such a nice device. It feels like a shame not to put it to use somewhere. But I'm not sure where. All right, we're gonna do some American English. Trana. Yep. You know, they always say that, like, Torontonians, for those of you who don't know, Toronto's like the biggest city in Canada. It's not our capital, but it is the biggest city in Canada, and that's where I live. They always make the joke that, like, Torontonians pronounce it not Toronto, but like Trana. I call it Toronto. It's like not that. It's not. You know. Anyways, there we go. I keep grabbing the mouse for my Mac. I've got a second keyboard here for this thing. GNOME. I don't know why I'm... Do I go no desktop? No, because I'm going to want to test Kairos. That's the name of my app. on like some desktop environments. So we're going to have to install one. Allow unfree software. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Give me all the unfree software. Replace erase disk. Do we want Hibernate? Anybody know? I'm going XT4, by the way. You can change the resolution. I think I'm already in, like, good old 4K, right? I can probably do the scale thing, UI scaling. Excellent point, friends. Let's do... And then scale. Let's make it big for the stream. And then... Oh, yeah! That's what I'm talking about. Now that's... Are you fucking kidding me right now? Okay. Okay. I'm working on a comprehensive AI LifeOS program that integrates my home server. Interesting. Started sketching a multi-node VM container firewall agent. More on the pile of projects. You've seen what I last sent you by now, I presume. Yes. I need to take another look, though. It's been a crazy time. Was it a loose Ethernet cable? It was a loose Ethernet cable. Yes, that's right. My dad was like, check link, and I was like, really? You think it's that? And it was. Multiple times I've been bit now. Okay. It's doing its thing. Oh, you're in Toronto. I am, yeah. Captain Picard Day. Captain Picard Day? Really? I should call my dad. Should watch some TNG. Good job, Calamirez. Yes. I have one of those AMD NPUs, so I can use certain local models super efficiently. I love it so much. Yeah, that sounds awesome. That sounds really cool. I really want to get something like home AI-y, but that like 3,000 to 4,000 Canadian price tag is just out of my range right now. If somebody wants to send me one, like if a company is like, hey, do you want to do a YouTube video on it? I'm open. I'm not just open, man. I'll shill. Yeah, that would be super fun. I think a couple of my friends are thinking about like a Mac Studio for some AI stuff, because we want to play around with owning our coding models so we don't have to pay like Claude or anything like that. And I might be the one hosting that because I'm the homelabbing-ist. Although, well, this is the problem with my friends. Okay, story time. Story time. When I went to school, like to undergrad, right? Most of my friends were like 2 to 3 years older than me, right? Because I joined clubs and things, and I met a bunch of my friends. These are the people I'm like in business with now. And Then I went to like master's and flunked out of my PhD, but they went straight into industry. So my friends have like 10 years of software development experience on me. And so they're naturally much better at this stuff than me. Um, so anytime I have even like a slight advantage or a slight like knowledge gap on somebody, it's tiny and everything else is massive, which is such a blessing. Like the opportunity to be in the room with a bunch of people who are that much more knowledgeable than you about the things that you love doing. It's like you learn so much faster. And they're awesome people, so they're not like shitting on me for being dumb. Anyways. Okay, what else we got? I'm just the other side of Detroit from you. No way, really? I want a Strix Halo board so bad. Yeah. Yeah. You can try Framework. I love their stuff. Oh, yeah, I would. I think my channel is too small for them. If Framework, like, oh, I would love to rep some Framework stuff, right? Because like the mission is so, it's so what I want to be doing. My dad and I have been talking about Framework stuff since it dropped, and it's just like I got a MacBook for work. I'm not using that MacBook to stream, by the way. That would not be kosher, so we don't do that. Can I say that? That's probably not appropriate. My apologies. So I've got a MacBook that, like, long story, I have a MacBook. And it's just like the best laptop you can get, right? Like if you're gonna do the price, performance, battery life combo, the M series chips are leaps and bounds ahead of every other chip on the market, especially for content creation. So jumping to Framework in the laptop space just wasn't price reasonable, right? I would love to own a Framework to do Framework things, but I don't have money for like a spare laptop, right? And then when it comes to like the Framework desktop, to be honest, part of me is like, desktops are already modular. What the fuck's happening there? You know, what's up with that? I like Framework, but what? So their laptops are what interest me most. Anyways, am I the only one who thinks that? Like, what is up with the Framework desktop, right? Is that not like, why? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Okay. Got to do my first ban over here. Thank you, thank you. Much appreciated. I don't know, like, dude, there's some weird stuff. People just hop into chat and get mean for nothing. By the way, added RTMP ingest to Mux Opus. What? Still a fantastic name, by the way. Accepts OBS streams, distributes them using TS push and multicasts while muxing in their mics, and lets people watch football together. That's so cool. All right, let's do this. Restart. Cheap beta testers with the concurrency handler. Okay, ended up with, oh yeah, sorry, got to do a little. I'd rather have RISC-V mainboards with NPU than a Mac Studio for inferencing LLMs. Does RISC-V compete on that level yet? My understanding was RISC-V was like nowhere near that level of performance, but that might be like specific cases, not like universally. Be running RWKV architecture of AI model, which is pure RNN, which is very freaking cool. Nice. macOS over my cold dead body. That's fair. It's just like, I wanted to use, and I mean, you've all seen me try. I tried doing all my content creation on Linux for 2 years, and just like all the time something went wrong. I think this is another rant. I think content creation is, content creation is the next big hurdle for Linux. And we'll talk about what I mean by that. I'm gonna do a restart. I'm gonna pull the install media out so that we don't get here again. Okay, so this is a face cam issue. So Linux has gotten awesome at so many things, right? Like, it's not just a good enough gaming experience, especially if you want the console stuff, because I set up Windows with a bunch of registry edits to game in the sort of like SteamOS big picture mode thing. And it was okay, like it got the job done, but it was not clean, right? Linux is actually a better gaming experience unless you want the big anti-cheat games, right? But there are times when Linux, through DXVK, outperforms Windows. This is absurd. Like, that shouldn't ever happen. That shouldn't be possible. So Linux has gone from, like, an impossible gaming experience, or at least an extremely troublesome and annoying gaming experience, to, in many cases, a superior gaming experience, especially on handhelds, right? Like the battery efficiency. Okay, also let's talk about that. How is Linux the better battery efficient, like, efficiency OS? When I first installed Ubuntu in like 2016 on a laptop, it halved my battery life. It halved it, right? Now we're talking about, like, people are complaining, why does this handheld have Windows on it when we could get better battery life on Linux? This is crazy. So Linux is a better gaming experience, except for if you want to play like League of Legends, right? And I don't accept this notion of like, just don't play that game, or like, oh, like it's a better experience because you can't play that game. That's ridiculous, right? It's a funny joke, but it is a real barrier to entry. That's just true. Lots of people play those games and they can't do it on Linux, and that's an entry barrier. So that, you know, but other than that, great. It's awesome. Technically, not a problem. More stable too. Cool. Then in just like general computing, if you're just an email checker and a like an Office user, right? First off, like Microsoft Office stuff is all on the cloud, so you can do it in your browser. Email, all of that. It's a better experience on a lot of Linux, right? Like if you're just gonna install Ubuntu or Mint or Zorin or Fedora or something like that, you're just gonna have a great time on Linux. Like it's gonna be just fine. I would argue a better experience in Windows because your updates are gonna be better. You're not gonna get ads, you know? It's conquered that. It's certainly the superior software development experience, like by a large margin. I mean, the Windows software development experience is so bad that they just said, fuck it, we're going to give you Linux. That's what Weasel is, right? And macOS is a decent software development experience, right? But the last hurdle is content. Like Streamlabs isn't on Linux, and OBS is good, but I had so many problems with OBS where, like, I would boot up and it like undetected all of my gear, so I had to reset up a bunch of stuff. And this happened almost every time. Almost every time. I was getting hitches in recording. I was getting a lot of things, just like the full suite of their settings for my camera, for example, weren't detected or usable. And that's not to mention the trouble I had with DaVinci Resolve, which you could tell me use Kden Live, but like I'm a DaVinci Resolve editor and it's on Linux. It's just not as good an experience. Yeah, it's really quite frustrating. I'm confident though that it's just another hurdle and we're going to get there, right? Like Linux gaming has become fantastic. Linux just regular desktop use is fantastic. Linux software development and homelabbing is the premium. That's the like the S tier option. Content creation is going to get there. That's my take. Okay. Sorry, I didn't read chat that whole time. I was just ranting. Okay. Oh my god. There's a lot of messages. Okay. Let me know if anything came up. Can I suggest a workflow for NixOS? Yes, please. Yes, please. I'm just going to go through this quickly. And content creation is the unavoidable gate to popularity. Yes, right? Like if I broke down, right? Not that I'm some like great bastion of Linuxness, but like if I broke down and I'm using my Mac for content creation, that's a real signal. That's like the barrier is large, right? So, I don't know. If you get a framework machine for free, Okay, since Linus has a badge for being sponsored by the Canadian government, will it make you receive your own taxes? What? Crap. It's just their laptop board in a small case, basically. Interesting. It's really annoying how the Snapdragon X Elite just won't get proper Linux support. But I hope RTX Spark will be better. Hopefully. Currently, RISC-V runs on high temps even on idle. Yeah, that's my understanding as well. The gap between game support and creative support software on Linux is massive. It is. It's huge, huge. Okay. Yeah, the dev issue is it sucks with the whole Linux gaming thing. Like, it's not a matter of like it's no longer a matter of Linux being the problem, it is developers being the problem. And when I say developers, I don't mean like the like team of 20 who's, you know, working super hard through the night for EA or something. I mean the company, the developer, you know. Anyways, standalone PAP office experience is still better. Okay, fair enough. Yes, I agree. Anytime you can get like an actual application and not do it in the web, I agree. That's a better experience. But a lot of companies just push you to use the cloud option anyways. Okay, so here's Nix. We're all nixed up and ready to go. Plus, you can't use online office without internet connection. Also true. But I rarely use a computer without an internet connection anyways. Hello? What did I set my password to? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Are we reinstalling Nix because I forgot or set up my password incorrectly? This can't be real. I can't have possibly screwed this up that bad, right? Can I suggest, sorry, not the devs, it's the publishers. Yes, that's the word I want to use. Thank you. Oh, I might have caps lock on. Oh, no. Did I have it on when I was setting this up? Yes, I did. That's annoying. Skip. I'm gonna have to reset my password. Gives me time to fix the workflow instructions. Okay. Let's get this up to 60 hertz. Let's just do 200. Where is dark mode? Keep changes. Appearance. My nose is so itchy today. Like, I don't know why, but sometimes this just happens. Let's do green. Well, green. This looks cool. All right, cool. I always disable the caps lock key. It's only uses to turn it off after accidentally turning it on. Yes, agreed. The way I use caps lock is I map caps lock to like the super key, because I use super a lot. Super D is how I bring up my like raycast or my runner of sorts, whatever it is. And it's just so convenient to just go like pinky index, boom. Much better use for that key. Okay, let's just change my password and see, is there a user management here? I so rarely do this through like actual settings. Usually I just go through the terminal. There we go, password. Current password. My caps lock on? Yes. Okay. The passwords don't match. What? Ooh, caps lock to escape is nice for him. Respect that. Wait, that's smart. Right? I use Super WASDA to move window focus as I Couldn't adjust to Vim motions. Oh, that's kind of an interesting way to do it. I'm a big Vim guy, so like super HJKL is usually my approach. Okay, one sec. I'm gonna swap screen so I can see my password. Not that it really matters. These are not the same password. Passwords matter. Is it just too weak? Ah, yes. Just didn't like my weak password. Okay. Oh, that's the wrong one. Boom. Okay. Maps to escape for a long time. Vim liked it, but a lot of other apps didn't benefit from accidental escape hits. Yes, that's the same boat I was in, and that's why I went the super approach. Okay. While we wait for, I'm going to trust Sarah on a good NixOS setup, or at least sort of guiding me through some initial things. But I'm tired of walking, so you're gonna be with me while I take apart this little station. Okay, you guys can probably all still hear me. Some settings are locked. Wait, hold on. What the hell does that mean? Interesting. Okay, so this is really cool. I don't think I can get you all a look, but I've got my treadmill under me, and it just folds up. Check this out. So I think you'll be able to see the end product over here, maybe a little bit. There you go. Sent on Discord as a DM. Awesome. Okay. Oh, so we're gonna lower this. Check it out. I can just store that over there, and then you can all come with me all the way to the floor where I sit cross-legged. Are we doing flakes? I've heard about these flake things. What's up with that? Okay. There we are. Hello, friends. Glad you could join me here on the floor. Proxmox host plus a lot of CoreOS clients. What? Oh, okay, hold on. What's this about CoreOS? I don't think I've ever heard that. Oh, to run a fresh install. I'm sorry, what is web? Is this just Firefox? What are we doing here? What is web? Container opera. Oh, interesting. A minimal OS with automatic updates, scalable and oh, this is interesting. Because I was just going to use Debian as my Docker host. Take a look at this at some point. Thank you for the recommendation. How do I pronounce your name? Salid? I'm not sure. Let me know how to pronounce your name, and I will thank you properly. Flakes are a more modular way to handle your config that is a little more useful than default. They're the future. They're just still considered experimental in a technical way. Okay. I was sitting here waiting. You already told me you sent it on DMs. Okay. Oh, 4 viewers on Discord. Let's go, or on Twitch. I guess I didn't add any tags. Linux, NixOS, lab. Okay. there we go. Added some tags. Now, let's check Discord. I'm tired. That was like an hour and a half of walking. Okay. So I go to NixOS configuration.nixt in your text editor, add the following lines. We're going to add nix command, add flakes and experimental features, then add a tool like OpenCode to your packages section. Then create NixOS or nixconfig or similar. Copy files into their hardware. Okay, cool. Let's do that. So, not having my usual workflow stuff is so painful. But we're going to do our best to just be patient with this, try to do it well, try to go slow, have a good time with it. Where'd my chat go? Ah, here it is. Web GNOME. Web is cool is WebKit browser for Linux. Ooh. Okay, using flags enables you to pin various packages to an exact git, commit, or tag. Cool. Okay. So, let's see. We need to go... Do I have Vim yet? I don't have Vim. How do I add Vim to Nix? I don't even have Vi? Holy shit, I have to use Nano. Okay. How to install Vim on NixOS. I guess first I need to do this very basic thing. So I'm going to have to start with a little nano action, which we're not really nano fans here on the channel. Okay, so Etsy, NixOS. I don't know why I'm CDing here, and I don't even have Vi. Really? Okay. I'm going to get over it. And then I got to do a sudo nano and config. Imports, I need experimental. Oh, navigating text without Vim is just pain. It's just pain. Okay, so we're a wheel distro. Ooh, yes, dude. Okay. I think I can add here, right? Is that the case? Can I do a Vim, NeoVim? Do I need to do commas between these? Is this a comma thing? Environment or system packages? Oh, I want Vim as a system package. It looks line by line. Do not forget to add an editor to edit configuration Nix. The Nano editor is also installed by default. Yeah, I noticed. Okay. Control X. Yes. Yes. Okay. And let's do I didn't do the changes I was supposed to do. Nano config. Okay. And I still need... How do I find things? Control F. Nix.settings. We don't have experimental features already set up. Does that mean I just add it? I guess so. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna do that here. Nix.settings.experimental features equals Nix command flakes. And this is a semicolon kind of thing. Cool. Control X. Yes. Yes. Then create... Where am I? Vector NixOS or nixconfig. I'm going to go with NixOS. Copy the files into there. Okay. Star.nix cp etsy slash NixOS star.nix this. That looks good. Okay, where are we at? Ooh, okay, so CoreOS is a mutable distro like Bazite, but for servers and Docker. I'm very interested in that. Okay, but snaps are yikes. Agreed. Big agree. For my home lab, I use NixOS plus Podman. Ooh. Already installed extension nixshell-p neovim. Yep, you're bootstrapping. My name is not made to be pronounced, really. Oh, okay, fair enough. You can call me Selly, or whatever you want. All right, cool. Selly it is. You can use a Nix shell really fast. You can. No commas. Nix lists have no commas. Okay. It's just part of your core system closure. I'd rebuild what you have first so you can use neovim for the rest of the edits. Can't he read chat because he is yes. Okay, cool. So they are now in NixOS. Then run sudo NixOS rebuild switch in that directory. Okay. All right. Let's see how long this takes. Has been renamed to Desktop Manager GNOME Enable. Okay. It did some, like, I guess, updating to a modern configuration name scheme thing. So why move them out of Etsy? What's your vibe on that? Just like permissions and things being a little bit more comfortable? Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Oh man, my voice is hoarse. This has been, for some reason, a very hard stream for me. Just voice wise. Okay. Nah, it's just a warning. Okay. So, whoa, caps lock. I guess I can just do this. Hardware configuration. This is okay. This is cool. This is cool. No, okay, permissions issues. Okay, cool. No more sudo if it's in home. I have them in my dot files git repo. That is awesome. Oh, sorry guys, my throat. System D. Okay, it is really cool that like so much of this stuff is configurable right here. It feels like a very discoverable Linux. The last time we did Nix things, I did not do a good job. And I was kind of like bashing my head against it incorrectly. Mostly don't touch hardware config unless you need to. Yeah, that makes sense. I just wanted to look. I'd make it a git repo right away too. Cool. I love that Pulse audio is off by default. Oh, this is so cool. Install Firefox. Programs Firefox enable. Okay, so here's a question. Right? I have packages, and then I have programs. What's our difference here? Are programs kind of like in Brewland? You have casks. Like, is this just GUI stuff, and then packages are like, package like because where's our difference there? You know what I mean? Oh, this is cool. Did you read the comment? Okay. Well, okay. Now, let's start with something like, let's say I want to install Claude Code so I can start vibing. How would I do that? Unfortunately, I'm locked into Claude. um, is there a way I can do that? Let's do some Googling. There's a Claude Code Nix, and there's a NixOS packages. Okay. I mean, I'm going to try to stay as native as possible. Packages are the programs themselves, the programs. Notation are NixOS modules, which have some default config for better setup. Okay. Claude code, I guess. Yeah. Okay, cool. Environment system pack. Why would I want it at the system level? So I can go to environment. I want to be probably up here, right? Open code can use. I thought people were getting banned for that. Because I would be interested. I would. My preference, what I would like to do is use Claude with Pi and then slowly build out Pi. Part of me really wants to build my own harness, but that's going to take forever. Okay. Do I want Thunderbird? Well, I don't know how much email stuff I'm going to be doing. Okay. And then I'm going to have to get real used to NixOS rebuild switch. Install Git. Okay, I'll do that next round. All right, Git. Now that should be at the. That should be here. And while we're at it, we'll get curl. Let's grab those. You can define system aliases. Okay, cool. Very cool. You know, my favorite part about stream, or one of the things that makes me laugh, is I'm starting to realize this. When I title a stream that I'm exploring Linux distros, skyrockets viewership. Like viewership through the roof compared to normal streams, right? But then I start installing the Linux distro, and it's a drop off. It's just so funny. I resisted Home Manager for a long time. This was a mistake. Interesting. Okay, I've heard about Home Manager. Like, I've heard about Nix tooling. But I mean, Git is not a command. Did I not just install it? Okay, hold on. What happened there? Right? Okay, so in my mind, I've added it here, right? We have Git, we have a wget, we have curl, right? Did I not do a rebuild? Did the rebuild fail? Why don't I read something? Setting up, reloading, done. The new configuration is here. Okay. Excellent question. So I do have Proxmox, but like, I always find the experience just much more enjoyable on bare metal. Like my solid stuff, my streaming box now is the MacBook, right? So that means I can just kind of like blow up my system anytime I want and have fun. I want to learn a little bit of Nix, and I much prefer being on bare metal. So that's kind of why I'm there. Okay, so what happened there? Let's try another. Maybe the rebuild and switch didn't work. I'm not sure. Maybe I shouldn't have sudoed it? Yes, look at this. It's saying etc NixOS config has been renamed. But that's not the one I'm installing, right? So what's the command? Do I do it not with sudo? Is that the situation? I think it is. Oh, no. Okay. Interesting. I guess we'll find out what happens next. Okay. So I still have NeoVim. But I don't have Git. I don't have curl. Oh, I have curl. Whoops. I don't have wget. My aliases for when you get there. Okay. Sarah, any idea what's going on with all that? Oh, cool. So you can do all sorts of like bash your sort of shell setup this way. Okay. Cool. YouTube chat keeps breaking for me. No problem. So maybe a new terminal session. That seems odd, but could totally be it. Okay. Curl. Would-get. Still not found. Okay. Yeah, it clearly grabbed the wrong one. Yeah. Okay, so but I'm in the directory, right? Like clearly. And I am grabbing this one, right? This is correct. Yeah. Can I do I don't need to cat files first to grep them, right? Like I can just do sudo okay. Quiet max jobs cores. Holy cannoli. Profile name. Okay, it takes a dash dash file. So maybe I can point it. Nope. Interesting. Yeah. Nope. Okay, well, obviously not. No outlink. Nix build configuration.nix. Anonymous lambda. Configuration.nix. So line 5. Seems right. Yeah, because it built against the wrong one. I'm unsure why. Interesting. Any reason you want bare metal? Yeah, like I just find it like I have a lot of fun playing with tiling window managers, getting like my setup to feel very ergonomic and just like sort of jumping between windows and things like that. And I find like being in a VM, I can't get that experience to the same extent because all of my hotkeys are already kind of like mapped out. So yeah, it's sort of just worked out that way for me. Go to the system packages again. Okay. Okay. So here I am, system packages. Vim git wget curl. Have you set NixOS? Oh, no, I have not done that. I don't think we're yet using flakes. Okay. Here's a question. How do I set environment variables like that in Nixland? Any knowers in the chat? We're moving to flakes, but he's partway through. Okay, I'm gonna comment that out for now. Whoops. No highlight. Try this one more time. Yes, agreed. You can, okay. Do one of these. And what's the file called? Configuration? Yes, I did move the file. Okay. And then I can do a sudo. I guess, would I need to do the sudo first? Probably. And then I can do that. And then I can do NixOS rebuild switch. Interesting. While evaluating the attribute config. String, okay, doesn't represent an absolute path. Oh, okay, we're gonna be like that about it. What's the string substitution thing? What would I even say? Whatever. I'll just do the whole thing. It's probably what. Actually, where am I? Start there. All right. Okay. So now get. Haha. Sorry about that. You got caught in the. No worries. It's not your responsibility to to make this thing work properly. Your help is very much appreciated, but it is definitely not your responsibility. Okay. Let me just check. I should be wrapping up soon, but I realize we're in one of those intermediary states, and ideally we don't end in that. Oh, sorry, one sec. I'm going to have to head out soon. Let's take a look. Can we clot it up? Yes, we can. I don't have Bitwarden set up, so I can't log into anything yet. So we'll deal with that later. Okay. Cool. So I think we might actually wrap up here and then continue along. Unfortunately, semi-aliases as a DM, a few of those are very useful. You can throw them at Claude, of course, and just tell it do. This is why I suggested open code indeed. Okay. Yes, maybe end with a working flake. Okay. How do I get there? Let's do a few things. Let's see. Web. Well, I do have Firefox, right? Nice. You can do flake init. Whoops. Flake. Nix flake init. Okay, thank you. Wait. This. Okay. NixOS flake.nix. Let's see what's in there. Just to start poking about. A very basic flake. Indeed. Ready, ready? We're going to call this Nathan and Stream. And then especially there we go. Very basic flake. That's what we're calling that. And I guess I need to just start learning about flakes. Let's do a few quick things. Let's see. Sorry, I'm so used to all my hotkeys and things. It's really difficult for me to not have them. Okay, I'm not going to bring up my Bitwarden on stream. So I'm going to read a little bit about Nix Flakes and continue from there. Ew, Google. I say it's not worth spending money on tokens with Cloud for this as well, hence open code. I'm already paying for the subscription, so unfortunately I'm in. Enable flakes temporarily. Okay. Yes, Nix flakes provide a standard way to write Nix expressions, and therefore packages, whose dependencies are version pinned in a lock file, improving reproducibility of Nix installations. The experimental Nix CLI lets you evaluate or build an expression contained within a flake. Install a derivation from a flake into a user environment and operate on flake outputs much like the original Nix build eval commands would. Okay. What's the best thing about NixOS? Sup? I don't know yet. I mean, well, okay, that's not true. The best thing that I'm experiencing so far is just like the amount of stuff that I can just kind of discover about my system by it being in this one file. That's really, really cool to me. So that's the thing that's exciting me and kind of why I want to start exploring it. Hard reproducibility. Yeah. Okay. Other distros with Home Manager enables Flakes. Enable Flakes. Other distros, no. Basic usage of Flakes. Before running any Nix commands at this point, please note 2 warnings. One for encryption and the other for Git. For Flakes and Git repos, only files in the working tree will be copied to the store. Okay. Git add any project files after you... Yeah, no shit. Okay. The flake.nix file is a Nix file, but that has special restrictions. Description, input, outputs, Nix config. Uh-huh. Nothing is broken, just want to reinstall. I use Arch, by the way. You can build packages using Flakes, but for the config, you use it to generate a NixOS system config. Okay. On Nix, you just set up another file or set of files and tell the system be this instead. Yeah, that does sound really cool. Okay, this is beyond me. How easy is secure boot on Nix? That I don't know. I'm just gonna do a little asking some LLM stuff on the side here, and then we'll call it. We have Landsboot. It's a fun name. Okay, Nix flakes are primarily used to declaratively define and reproduce Nix environments. They replace the older configuration.nix style ad hoc approach with a structured, reproducible version pinned format. Is that the big thing over over the configuration file? Because I'm looking at the configuration file. I'm like, what the heck can a flake do? Is it just that it locks versions? Flakes can depend on other flakes' input. Okay. Unified interface. One flake.nix can expose NixOS configs, dev shells, packages, and more through standardized schema. No more channels. Inputs are explicit and locked, not implicit system level channels. Okay. Okay, so I can do home manager stuff. Outputs. Self Nix packages. Home manager. There's like so much text that I just don't understand. First. Interesting. This might be a next stream issue. Version pinned is a big part. Again, trivial, though I run ButterFS and Lux myself. Search for NixOS configurations module. That's impossible. It likely is a next stream. Yeah, I think so. But we've had a lot of fun today, and I mostly ranted to you about the software I was building. What about packages that aren't in NixOS repo? Oh, heck yeah. We got some more Twitch followers. Slowly we build. I build about half my stuff from source. Oh, interesting. Okay. Well, I think we've had a good time today. I'm gonna pop a squat for this one. I love my floor desk. It just makes me so happy. On every rebuild as needed. Okay. That sounds like a huge process, though. Like, every rebuild sounds like a lot of work. It's literally in the browser right now. Yeah, but there's only so, like, do you know that point when there's like 2 steps left, but your eyes are just glazing over because you've been working on stuff all day? That's kind of where I'm at right now. So I'm just like staring at things, and with a system that's as new to me as NixOS is, I don't just want to give it to the LLM, because then I'm not going to learn how this works, right? And when I'm like tired like this and my eyes are glazing over, I know that if I continue to try to work, I'm just going to be copy pasting things, and that's not a learning environment at that point. You know what I mean? So I'd rather wait it out and come back to this when my brain's fresh. Just use Rocky Linux for your servers. uh, I lost a lot of faith in Red Hat distros after like the whole Rocky CentOS thing. So that one's a little tough for me. Godot, is it pronounced Godot? I assume it is, right? Like waiting for. Um, yes, but Nix packages is bigger than the AUR, so it's rarely an issue. Yes, I've heard that Nix packages is like big, big, big. So that's pretty cool. Okay, gang. Unfortunately, yes, it will be a little while until the next stream, but I'll miss you guys, and I'll work on trying to get a video up. The unfortunate part is my NAS is down, so I guess I'm gonna have to. I got room on disk, so I'll just have everything on my MacBook. That's a shame, but it is what it is. Anything else? I am working on a video for. I'm working on a video for my Gabe Cube, my Steam box, because I actually sold my NVIDIA 5070 Ti to buy an AMD RX 9070 XT so I could run Bazite's home theater PC edition, the SteamOS edition. That's been working wonderfully. The 9070 XT is a great card, runs about as well as the 5070 Ti, and at least here in Canada is about $300 cheaper. So that's pretty sweet. Yes, we did pick a distro. Sorry, Kojo. You can hit me up on Discord if you need a hand with stuff. Thank you very much. Definitely will. Yes, we did. We're on Nix. We did it. So the thumbnail was accurate. We went with Nix. I like every time I look at Nix, it just feels like the future of Linux. And so I kind of just want to be a part of that future a little bit and kind of learning this way. I used to think like I need to learn how to do it the OG Linux way before I learn how to do things the Nix way. And these days, I think I was wrong. I think that Nix will actually teach me a lot about Linux because of how discoverable it is, and the declarative nature I think is actually going to help me learn. So, should be a lot of fun. No. I've got multiple servers. So I've got my Proxmox server. I've got my NAS as a separate device. This is my Linux box, one of my Linux boxes for just like bare metal tinkering. It's just this little mini PC. I've got a Zima board on the side. I've got a bunch of stuff, so not just one server. Also, you're Canadian. Yes, I am. Yeah. Okay, I'll have to watch the VOD to see what other options you considered and see your choosing process. The process was pretty quick, to be completely honest. I'll save you the time, which is bad content creator of me, but I'll save you the time. I went, I was thinking about Arch Linux again and Cachy, but I've been through that many times. We'll do Nix. That was the decision process. Yeah. Yes. Because it's all text, it's inherently LLMable. Yeah, that'll help with learning as long as, you take a good approach to it. And I tend to be fairly principled, so should be fun. Okay, gang. Thank you all so much for watching. I will catch you again in 2 weeks. And in the meantime, have fun. If you're not part of the Discord server, feel free to hop in there, share your stories and your adventures with Linuxy home labby things, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, friends.